The Breakdown, Bristol Rugby's official podcast, built with Callaway Building Supplies, patios, paint, plumbing and so much more, with 5 branches across Bristol and powered by Sam FM.
Hello and welcome to the November edition of The Breakdown. It is Bristol Rugby's official podcast, powered by Sam FM, and I am pleased to welcome 2 super stellar guests to the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome Head of Medical Services, Rory Murray, and Centre Spectacular is Jack Tovey, everybody! Hello and welcome to the podcast studio. Lovely to see you here, resplendent. Have you enjoyed the journey here on this cold November evening?
Yeah, Tovs drove past my house, failed to pick me up. Yeah, it was great driving here on my own.
Well, we've got some exciting things for you to take part in a little bit later on, including with wedding plans, how much an average wedding costs, plus the top Irish slang phrases for you, Rory. Plus, we have got, now let's get your impression on this. We've got Callum Sheedy doing the 10 questions that we ask anyone. Give us a couple of words on Callum Sheedy.
The saviour. He has more nationalities than anybody I've ever met. He's Jason Bourne.
Is he as nice as he comes across? Because he comes across as, he's the saccharine Halo boy. Is he really like that, or is there a side to Sheedy we don't know?
Well, I think he covers the side that you don't want to see well, but yeah, deep down he's a lovely guy.
All of that's still to come, but first of all, let's check out the top action from Sam FM Rocks Rugby for the last month.
This is The Breakdown.
It's with Ross McMillan at the back. He's completed that successful line out and rejoins the back of this more. And Bristol really moving on nicely here. The ref hasn't asked for them to release it yet because they're moving on nicely. And there goes Ross McMillan. He makes the break. He goes over the try line. He started the move. He completes the move. Ground made there, and it's released again by Andy Uren, and he flicks it back inside, looking for Sam Jeffries, who offloads the ball to Joe Joyce, who runs in under the post. We have our 4th try of the afternoon. A neatly worked bat move there, but Will Hurrell doesn't manage to find the gap, and he's well tackled by Rory Burke. On again, and it's with Williams. Good quick ball from him, and then it's Thomas through the gap. Can he get over the try line? Yes, he can. First blood to Bristol this afternoon. 10 metres out, and it's at the back of this driving moor with Jason Harris right. I think Rodri Williams will have to do something with it shortly because we're not really going anywhere. The referee's happy with what he's seen so far, and Stephen Luatua breaks away with it. And it's that man again, Dan Thomas, in the corner. Goes over the try line for the 3rd try of the afternoon to Bristol Rugby. And things are warming up quite nicely at Ashton Gate. Madigan for the corner. Jason Harris right with the ball in his hands. Jeffries wants it, but it's gone short to Luatua. Lovely work move. Jason Harris right takes it on. And he'll go over the whitewash in the corner.
The Breakdown, Bristol Rugby's official podcast, powered by Sam FM.
Well, welcome back. Still to come, the 10 questions we ask everyone. Plus, we have got Tom Varndell and Jordan Crane doing our quiz. Now, the quiz is about naming current England squad members for the Autumn Internationals. Any ideas on who might win that?
Jordan will probably still name himself, and Tom doesn't follow rugby, so it'll be like 2-1,
I think. Very good. All of that still to come. But first of all, let's check out the Big 5 from the last month with Slick.
The Breakdown, Bristol Rugby's official podcast, powered by Sam FM.
Well, you join us in a slightly different location for our Big 5 for this month, and that is right here in the commentary position at Ashton Gate, just post the Nottingham game. Slick, you've never been up here before.
I haven't, Downsy. No, what a great view of the suspension bridge, and I've always liked watching rugby from high up, and I don't get the opportunity very often. So there's nothing happening now, but nice to be invited, frankly.
We also get quite a lot of the inside track because, of course, Pat sits just behind us, so a good place to be. Let's go through our Big 5 for this month. So, in at number 5, Slick.
Stephen Luatua, what a signing. I've heard a lot of people have said since September, we've had a lot of internationals, big name players have played for Bristol over the years, but he's right up there in terms of the quality. Watching him play from down where I do by the touchline is quite remarkable. The man's got time, great hands, great vision, and actually he does all the kind of naughty stuff occasionally really well as well, so he's in the right place at the right time.
And he's got time for the fans as well. Just seeing him now, just lots of selfies, so nice, and he's got that real kind of Islander feel about the fans.
Well, we've said that already this season about all our island contingent, what great men they are. I think that's important. If you're trying to build the sort of club that Pat's trying to build, that's almost as important as what goes on the field, that you're creating that camaraderie, that team spirit, and the likes of TCPC, Siali Piatau and Stephen are doing that in spades. Absolutely brilliant.
And talking about our international players, in at number 4,
Chris Vui, again, he's been there kind of doing all the unseen stuff. When you're in the engine room, when you're playing second row, it's kind of a position that not a lot of people notice, but he does all the dog work really well. Fair play to him to be now a firm fixture in the Samoan side, and to be asked to be skipper at whatever he is, 23, 24 years old, is great for him personally and great for Bristol Rugby.
Yeah, a really nice man. I had him in Hospo a couple of weeks ago before he went away, and he's just such a nice guy. They all are, aren't they?
Well, it's remarkable. I've had Siali Piatau and now TCPC to do my very quick 30-second interview after the game, and that's what you glean from what they say to you week in, week out. They're just genuinely people who are talking to you because they're interested and because they're genuine men, not just going through the kind of glib responses.
Good stuff. Right, number 3 was a game that you weren't actually there for, but I was.
No, I had something else on that night. It was thrown at me quite late on, but great that we were able to commemorate Remembrance and the time around that with a game against the Armed Forces, the Bristol United. A lot of young players given the opportunity, and those links with the combination and with the Armed Forces have been a key part of Bristol Rugby for many years, and long may it continue.
Good stuff. Okay, and there was also a fantastic bugler, I hear.
Yeah, young George. He's a student. He's still at university. His grandfather, was a highly decorated serviceman, and it was completely fitting that he got to play the bugle. And we've had some buglers over the years that, how should I put this, may not have been completely on point. George was absolutely faultless. One of the best bits of the last post in the Revelli that I've ever heard in all my years.
And that's going some. Quite a few years, aren't they, Slick? Right, back to number 2, and, well, a couple of stars shining here.
Well, as ever, another part of Pat's vision for the club is to inspire the community and the local Bristol combination through local players coming through the club. Joe Joyce, he's never not got a smile on his face, Joe. I mean, he's on today's programme talking about the fact that he's living the dream. The dream will never die. He'll carry on living that dream. He signed again for another 2 years recently. And Callum Sheedy, who has had a difficult kind of 18 months since he was instrumental in getting us through the Championship final 2 years ago, getting us up into the Premiership, then unfortunately got injured, spent some time away on loan at Jersey. And a huge credit to the young man that he's stuck at it, and he's now back where he was 18 months ago in terms of form. The confidence that's engendered has been great, and great that he's committed his future to Bristol as well.
And 2 lovelier guys you wouldn't ever meet elsewhere. But at number 1, the big one, and it's just been confirmed as we're here at Ashton Gate for today's Big 5. Thank goodness for 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we would have hoped to be 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 with 9 bonus points for those 10 games, I think is as important. Today, Nottingham kind of summed up the season so far. We've played some fantastic attacking rugby, some of the best that I remember seeing. The ball going through the hands, the sublime running lines, all that sort of stuff is an absolute joy to watch. And as each week has gone by, every team that comes to Ashton Gate to play against Bristol or plays them on their ground, they'll step their game up. And we've got to continue to build and continue to play that sublime rugby, but also have a kind of watertight defence. And that seems to be building week on week, which is more than we could have hoped for.
Long may it continue. Slick, for this month, thanks so much.
Absolute pleasure, Downsy, as ever.
Welcome back to the studio. It's the November edition of The Breakdown. With me in the studio is Head of Medical Services Rory Murray and Centre Jack Tovey. Boys, we've got Dan Thomas on in a bit. He is going to take us through the soundtrack to his life. Tell us a little bit about Dan.
He is very much engrossed in his farm. I mean, I don't think he spends his training days in Bristol and his days off in Carmarthenshire. working away, working with cows. So yeah, I'm sure he's still a young boy, so I don't really know how many songs he's going to be able to fit in, but I'm sure they'll be interesting nonetheless.
Does he have a clothing line as well, if I noticed?
He does have a clothing line, and they are very comfy if you are looking to buy anything. Rugby warfare.
Have you had to treat Dan yet, Raw?
No, he does look like Jordan Crane lying face down, though. They both have female haircuts. That's what they have in common. No, he's a very durable player. Thankfully, he hasn't been across my door.
Very good. Right, Dan Thomas still to come. But first of all, let's ask the 10 questions we ask everyone to the saviour, Callum Sheedy.
10 questions we ask everyone. Name.
Callum Michael Patrick Sheedy.
Occupation.
Fly half.
What is your proudest sporting moment?
Playing Bristol against Doncaster in the playoff final. Proudest moment.
Whose life would you like to live for a day?
Brian O'Driscoll, he was always someone I wanted to be like when I was growing up, so I'd say him probably.
What's your karaoke song?
Mario, Let Me Love You. Baby, I just don't get it. Do you enjoy being hurt?
What is your most treasured possession?
My phone. Very rarely without my phone in my hand. Always checking social media, etc. Yeah, I'd be very lost without that.
What is your most embarrassing sporting moment?
I was in school and it was sort of like a big game against the Torrent side. I was running down the pitch and someone pulled me from behind and I didn't realise I was hanging out from behind for a long time and everyone was laughing and I wasn't in the best shape at the time, so it was a bit of a comedy moment for the fans. It wasn't my finest moment.
If we came for dinner, what would you cook us?
Sweet potato wedges, tender stem broccoli. I remember Tom Van Dal showed me how to cook that. I'm a master at steak, the perfect steak.
If you weren't a sportsman, what would you be?
Probably be on a building site doing something, lifting something I would not be able to sit at an office desk and sit there from 9 till 5. I'd be out there.
What is your number one pet hate?
I don't like when people fidget with stuff when I'm trying to watch the telly. My dad always does it. He plays with the pillow and it makes like it does my head in. I tell him to stop all the time, but yeah, little noise in the background. What
is the best thing about Bristol Rugby?
I think the environment and the culture we got at the moment. It's like you're coming into work with your mates. It's you look forward to every day. Yeah.
10 questions we ask everyone. Sam FM. The Breakdown, Bristol Rugby's official podcast, built with Callaway Building Supplies. 5 branches in Bristol, open to trade and DIY, and powered by Sam FM.
Well, welcome back to the studio. Time for us to have a bit of a chat now. First of all, Tubbs, I should say congratulations because you're getting married next year, aren't you?
Yes, thank you very much, and congratulations to yourself as well.
I know, yes, we have that in common. We're not getting married to each other, by the way.
No,
Just,
unfortunately not.
I think Harriet might have something to say about that. But how much do you actually know about the wedding? How much involvement and planning have you actually had in?
I'd like to say a decent amount, probably not as much as maybe Harriet would have liked, but I kind of leave her to her own devices, and I think the less I say, the less in trouble I get.
Very good. We will find out a little bit later on just exactly how much Tubbs knows about weddings. But first of all, let's go back to basics. So first of all, Rory, tell us about your role and what it is you do at the club for those that don't know.
So I had quite a large group of sports therapists, physiotherapists, doctors as the head of medical. So we look after the general welfare, well-being of the players, make decisions around availability for weekend, and generally nurse them back to health when they do incur an injury.
Mm-hmm. And I mean that process is something, Tubbs, that you have been through, isn't it? Because you had a fairly lengthy injury.
Yeah, I had a couple, but yeah, tore my pec off the bone in the champ final about 2 years ago now. So. Yeah, had this man on my right hand side who kind of, as you said, nursed me back to health.
So this is where this wonderful relationship has obviously now begun. So because it's quite an intimate thing, isn't it? Because I mean, for your medical staff, there's a lot of kind of physical contact. You have to be in quite close quarters. So is that because it's essentially someone you don't know to start with. So I mean, how do you sort of approach that with someone that comes into your room for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you compare Jack's relationship to, say, someone who's just joined this year, it is a little different, definitely. Knowing Jack obviously going on nearly 6 years now. So, yeah, it's physical, it's sometimes intimate. You spend an awful lot of time together. And I actually quite like that process when somebody is new to the club, when you get that quality time with them, probably for the wrong reasons if they're injured, but you do get to know them pretty well.
Yeah.
And it can be quite fun, actually.
And you must have a really privileged position then, because of course, I mean, I've been lucky enough actually to have some treatment from your guys when I managed to fall off my bike. Great. And actually there's quite a lot of like chatting time to be had. So you must sort of be the one to come for all the gossip.
Definitely. Actually, my wife talks about this a lot. She often fears about bringing me into a room full of people I don't know, but I'm the small talk king. Anybody that's a physio, a hairdresser, we are the masters of small talk. So yeah, we're pretty comfortable with that. But definitely, I mean, don't get me wrong, Tubbs and I don't really cover any serious ground. We certainly don't talk about the wedding. It's the first time I heard he was getting married, actually. But yeah, no, it's there's a lot of dead time between treatment and rehab, and we do tend to cover a bit of ground, yeah.
So when the chat gets to going on holiday this year, is that do you know that you need to move on from there?
This is where I think it's great Tubbs is here, because we cover some very, very dubious ground between the new Assassin's Creed game, which I just simply don't care about, my hate for golf, despite being from the home of golf, Northern Ireland, to a range of different things. We keep it pretty light. We probably don't know an awful lot about each other because we don't go into any great depth. We have a bit of fun though.
Yeah, good. Okay, well, I mean, just going through some of the facts here, 169 appearances. You are the longest serving Bristol Rugby player at such a tender age. How does that feel? Because, I mean, you have come through an evolution. Some would say revolution. I'm going to use evolution to be politically correct. But yeah, how has it changed over the years?
Yeah, there's been a lot of new faces. A lot of different. I mean, there's been some serious highs and some serious lows as well. I think the longer I've been at Bristol, I think almost the more. I don't know if I use the word professional, but I mean, I kind of definitely we're moving in the right direction, I think. But I mean, that's not taken away from some of the times I had when I was first in the academy. I mean, getting to play 20 games, second season still in the academy. Playing with some of the guys, DC, Ross Johnson, Merriman, those guys like that, serious characters who kind of, that maybe has changed a little bit over the years, maybe not for the worse, but it's been an interesting journey.
And in terms of your sort of development and how you kind of fit in now, is it odd to see, because it's your club, that badge, means the world to you. Is it odd to see new people come in sometimes and you go, hold on a second, this is my environment?
I like to think I'm quite welcoming. I wouldn't say I'm a particularly intimidating person. Probably been thinking quite rude when I first come here, because I've been quite quiet and maybe not make the effort that other guys tend to do. But I don't think so. I think having new faces, new guys bringing new energy in is definitely a good thing.
And since Pat's arrival, which is a massive sea change, I mean, I guess for both of you actually, it seems that there is a different environment. Again, not saying it's better or worse, but a different environment. Even for me to come in on the the 1 or 2 days that I'll pop up, and actually you just feel more, I don't know, welcomed or loved, or it just feels like there's much more love in the room. Roll, from your point of view, does that sort of come across too?
No, I think that's fair. I think things are very stable and very calm, and that lends itself to everybody being a little bit more at ease and being a bit more welcoming. I think we're a little bit more sure-footed. At the beginning of any regime, and Pat's such a great communicator. He's very good at clarifying his goals, everybody's rules. I think just being more sure-footed means we're probably happier in ourselves. We know what our rules are within the club, and that allows us to be more expressive and welcoming to people that do come in. It's definitely a happy place to be at the minute.
Good. Now, on a match day, we'll quite often see you and Owen or some other of your staff. Of course, they're poised, ready to go. Is that the most exciting day of your week? Is match day the best time?
Sometimes it can come at the end of a very long week. Sometimes, no, match day isn't that way. Sometimes it is. Particularly last year with the Premiership, we had some fantastic fixtures. It was just brilliant, and that's not detracting from some this year's. I mean, they're a great spectacle. Yeah, I do enjoy that, but I mean, the nature of my role is that I enjoy Monday morning. I enjoy digging the holes, or picking the holes out of the bones out rather of injuries that we incurred at the weekend, and maybe my job is a little bit more process oriented. So in the week is maybe where I get more of my enjoyment, and the weekend is more the realisation of it, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, for obviously for playing staff, that's what you're working towards all of the time, and actually probably for medical staff, it's almost the day before or the week before, getting the players ready for selection almost.
Definitely. I mean, that's exactly it. And probably then therefore games take on more of a sort of satisfaction if somebody's reached a game that maybe they were struggling with an injury. That is a very satisfactory thing, and especially if they play well, that's great. Look, game days are for players. Mm-hmm. It's not about staff. When it comes to the Sunday or the Friday night or whenever that is, it's all about the players' game. And that's the day that they enjoy, and we sit back and we watch them.
Right, let's move on. We've got a couple of quizzes. So let's start with a quiz that... Tubbs, it's you under the spotlight here, because I've got some Irish slang phrases that Rory will be able to fill us in on. But let's see how good your Irish slang is. First of all, a Janie Mac. If an Irish person said, Janie Mac, what would that mean?
I mean, I'm going to guess... the way you put it across, something along the lines of like, Christ alive, that's something that's bad, something that's bad that's happened, maybe.
Raw?
Yeah, that's about right. I think that's fair enough, yeah.
Yeah. Other than blaspheming, yes, Janie Mac would be good. What about, should I attempt the accent? No, definitely not. Get off the stage. If someone tells you to get off the stage, get off the stage!
Well, I mean, does it do exactly what it says? I mean, you're probably, letting yourself down, or you're being embarrassing.
Yeah, stop talking.
Yeah. Tubbs, get off the stage.
Yeah.
What about if you are banjaxed?
I'm going to say drunk.
Drunk, Rory?
Yeah. Banjack could cover a range of things, but yeah, drunk is probably where it's most applicable.
Yeah, very good. Broken is what I've got on the list, but yeah, okay. Drunk is definitely. So if people are banjacks, they're coming to see you, Rory.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's cool.
That is very good. In a few minutes, we're going to do a wedding quiz and just see how much Tubbs really does know about the wedding that he is planning with the lovely intended. But first of all, we're going to do a round of show and tell. So what I've asked the boys to do is bring in something that means something to them and tell us all about it. So Tubbs, we'll start with you. What have you brought in for us?
Well, I mean, I was struggling big time with this, and it was quite depressing actually, trying to think of something interesting about myself. Mm-hmm. So on the way up, and Raw's kind of reminded me recently, I have a golf club. Okay,
let's have a look at it. Bring it in. Show it to the camera.
So
here it is.
This is the golf club.
Look at that.
Club. Partly because when I was coming back from my back up, Raw's was physioing me at the time, and I was really keen to kind of get back up to golf and kind of play. It was like pestering, when can I do this, when for this, and then it suddenly transpired later that he hates golf. Therefore, I was barking up the complete wrong tree with regards to actually wanting to play golf. So yeah, I kind of, thankfully Owen loves golf, so if there's ever a golf related
physio session,
yeah, exactly, Oz gets the knock on the door.
Very good. What else you got? You got something else there? So what else was that?
I was struggling that much. I have brought my Manchester United shirt with me.
Being
from Manchester.
Okay.
That I am. So yeah, that was another kind of little show and tell.
So
Manchester United fan, yeah.
So this is going
with the game.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be very interesting now. So where will your loyalties lie?
They will lie completely in the Manchester United camp. Being a Bristol Rovers fan.
Yeah, of course.
Well, not really. Fan's kind of a bit of a strong word to associate, but yeah, if I was to have to pick one of the two, I'm sure it's a little bit controversial, but I would pick the Pirates.
And have you got a ticket?
I do have a ticket, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Gold dust. So, yeah, thankfully got a ticket. I'll be in the wrong end, though. I'll be wearing the Man United shirt.
Man.
The red of Bristol City.
Goodness me. Are you a football fan as well, Rory?
No, this is one of Tubbs and my frequent conversations. I wouldn't go out the back door to watch Man United Bristol City. But no, just rugby. Rugby's my passion.
Okay. And apart from, obviously, Bristol, who do you follow? Because, of course, you're an Ulster boy to start with, weren't you?
Indeed, yeah, absolutely. No, Ulster's a bit different because it's such a parochial place, and we're fanatical Ulster fans, myself, my wife, my entire family. But because back before, I mean, obviously rugby's not professional that long, but and in that sense, Ulster didn't have that many games when I was growing up. They play their interprovincial games and one or two others. So I would follow Leicester, actually, in the Premiership. So I was a closet Leicester fan. London Irish a little bit when there was a bit of an exodus of Irish players over to London. But no, it was only ever in rugby, never football. So
back to weddings. Speaking of my fiancée, he's had quite a lot of mentions in this podcast. So now we have how much does it actually cost to get married, and we'll see just how much Tubbs knows about his wedding plans. So, in fact, I'll take both of you on here. The ballpark for an average wedding in 2017, what do you reckon to the nearest thousand, please?
Is this in the whole of UK?
So this is just in the UK. The cost of the whole thing, first of all, ballpark.
Well, given that my wife had to send me. I was telling Tubbs this. My wife had to send me an invite to my own wedding. That's how much I knew about the planning. But I'm going to pass on that one actually.
Tubbs, any ideas? Total.
To the closest. I'm going to go 15.
Oh, 27,000 pounds. The average wedding. So, how much does a wedding photography cost?
On average, £1,000.
1,600.
Wow.
Okay. You see, surely you should be coming straight back with these answers because you've already done all this, right?
Yeah. Well,
yeah. No. Harriet has been doing a lot of the planning.
Yeah.
Is she the one with the control of the spreadsheet?
She does control the spreadsheet. Yes. She wouldn't let me type in it. I'd be spelling mistakes all over the place.
Have you got rings yet?
No, actually. Strangely enough, when we did, I've only been once to try them on actually, and my hands were very large, and we couldn't get a ring that actually fit in there at the time. So Harriet quickly found one that she liked. I'm yet to find one.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because my mate complained about having to wear a ring, and his excuse was, "Well, I'm going to wear it on a chain around my neck because it's closer to my heart." Oh dear. Okay, it's clear, you've made it clear, Tubbs, that you know nothing about your own wedding.
I wasn't that far.
But what about an entertainment, like a wedding DJ? Do you have one of those yet?
We haven't got a DJ. We've sorted a band.
You don't have a DJ yet?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Do you know any? I mean,
no,
good ones.
Not any good ones. No. A wedding. So yeah, all right. You got a band.
We have the band. Yeah.
How much are you paying your band?
Too much.
Yeah.
From memory.
It's expensive.
But you want average again?
Go on.
1,500.
900. But it's ballpark.
I overshot that one.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, back to show and tell. Rory, your turn.
So, I actually go rooting around for this item today, and it's not my finest moment as a physio, I must say. But Tubbs will know what this is. It's a bungee cord that you use to help train players. So I wanted to keep it quite relevant to work.
Okay.
So, story goes, and this involves Nick Costa, who's now a very distinguished, I think, Oxford undergraduate, Cambridge now undergraduate, so he'll love me telling this. So we were doing a rehab session after one of his injuries, and one of his many injuries, and we part of the bungee cord, what that involves is it resists your running, so we can actually tax his legs a little bit more. So I'm standing holding a tackle pad. There's a bungee cord tied around his waist attached to a pole behind him, and just as he runs off, this is maybe third or fourth repetition, the bungee cord snaps and catches him right in the undercarriage. And he drops straight onto his knees, and he's writhing around in agony just as I'm standing over him with a tackle pad. And the timing couldn't have been better, because Andy Robinson just walked out onto the field, and it looked like I'd flattened him in a tackle. And I hadn't the heart to tell him that wasn't the case. I dined on that for months, probably at some detriment to Nick's reputation. And I had to bury said cord, because Nick wasn't happy, and I wasn't having it, that I would lose my hard man reputation after that.
Very good, very good.
The Breakdown.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me up. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Well, welcome to the quiz. Now, to celebrate the fact that we've all been into the autumn internationals, England and so on, we've got two former England players with us right now. Mr. Tom Vardell, hello.
Hello, how you doing?
And Mr. Jordan Crane, hello.
Hello.
Now, this is a test of not only your rugby knowledge, but also of your memory as well. What I'm going to ask you to do, in turn, is name a member of the current England squad as published by England Rugby's website. So, if they're on the list, you stay in. If they're not on the list, that is it. You're out. It is a penalty shootout, golden goal style. So as soon as you miss one, that is it. The other person's got the bragging rights until we do this again next year. You ready to go?
Let's go.
Right, we tossed up beforehand. We're doing it in alphabetical order. Jordan Crane comes first. Jordan, name a player.
Ben Youngs.
Ben Youngs is absolutely on the list.
Mario Toji.
Mario Toji, of course, is there.
Owen Farrell.
Owen Farrell, definitely there.
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown is definitely on the list.
Dan Cole.
Dan Cole is there, yeah, of course.
Mako Vunipalu.
Definitely there.
Ellis Genge.
Ellis Genge is definitely there. Now, how do you feel this is? Are you confident yet, or are you sort of drying up?
I'm not confident at all. Okay, I'm next. Anthony Watson.
Anthony Watson is absolutely there.
Danny Kerr.
Danny Kerr, of course, is there. Is there cheating? What's this? What's happening?
No, just flights. My flight, time off.
You're booking flights. So whilst you're doing the quid for the podcast, where are you going? Anyone nice?
I haven't decided yet. Just chuck it back to sports with Ian Madigan at the moment. Yeah, training camp.
Right, a good training camp. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Jonathan Joseph.
Jonathan Joseph is absolutely there.
Dylan Hartley.
Dylan Hartley is, of course, there.
George Ford.
George Ford is there.
Jamie George.
That is absolutely there. Jordan is right.
Joe Launchbury.
Joe Launchbury is there.
Johnny May.
Johnny May is there.
Nathan Hughes.
Nathan Hughes is there.
Courtney Laws.
Courtney Laws is in.
Elliot Daly.
Very nice.
Chris Robshaw.
Chris Robshaw is in. There's a mild amount of cheating from your end going on.
Lazowski, yeah, Alex Lazowski.
Top of the list, yep.
Sam Underhill.
Sam Underhill's there.
Simmons.
Who?
Sam Simmons.
Sam Simmons is there. Pressure's on, Geordie.
Oh my God, Geordie! Oh my God! Here. Oh my God!
I thought I got him. I thought I got him. Joe Marler.
Oh, Joe Marler is there. Hold on. Hold on.
This weekend.
But the quiz is the published list of squad from the England Rugby website. He is not there, so that means Mr. Tom Bardell is the winner.
Yes! Yes! I knew it. I knew I'd get it. It was never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Oh, you must be gutted.
Disappointed. He's playing this weekend.
In practice, we also had Rocker Daguni, who scored the try, but also isn't on the list. So, you know, it could have gone either way. You must.
Curry next. Yeah.
Well done, Tom.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Round of applause, everyone.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me up. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
It's the Breakdown Podcast, the official podcast of Bristol Rugby. I'm here with Rory and Tovs. Do you have any other nicknames? I mean, Raw, I guess. Is there any others?
Roz.
Roz?
Roz,
Where's
yeah.
Roz come from?
I don't know. Quite an English thing, that, actually. I only got that one back over here. Yeah, that's it, really.
Okay. What about at school?
Same, because my name ends in a Y, so it doesn't need any more effort.
Exactly.
You know, so it's key.
Yeah.
My parents were thinking ahead on that one.
Yeah. It's like either add a Y, I've said this before, or if you're Australian, add an O. I think if I was from Adelaide, I'd be Downzo. Do you know what I mean? Sounds slightly more. And Tubbs, you've just always been Tubbs, have you?
Not always, no. There have been lots of other nicknames. Well, not even nicknames. I think just profanities shouted at me when I was younger. Yeah, kind of Fanta pants. I mean, you name any ginger kind of name you've ever heard. I've had that. Yeah, there's been a lot.
There's only ever been 2 complaints that I've had in my radio career that have been upheld by Ofcom. One of them was about commercial mentions for a car dealer. The other one was saying this. And I said, I've seen the new Harry Potter movie. Unfortunately, the ginger kid's still in it. And that was another complaint that was upheld.
Really?
Yeah.
So it should have been.
Yeah.
So it should have
Quite
been.
right. I apologise for my actions. Let's crack on.
The Breakdown.
Now then, I've not actually been party to the songs that Dan Thomas has chosen as the soundtrack to his life. But if there was one song, boys, that would sum up Dan Thomas to you, what would it be?
I don't know. I mean, every time we go over to train with Cardiff Blues, they're playing either the Manics or Stereophonics. It's definitely going to be a Welsh band. I'm going to say Plastic California for... I just think that's what he'll choose. You know, I just can guarantee he's going to choose that one.
Okay, Tom.
I think every Welsh person that's ever been at Bristol has... I've never known anyone to love a film as much as Twin Town. So, I mean, maybe he'll choose the opening song of that film. Unfortunately, I don't know what it is, but they all seem to love that film way too much.
Very good. Let's find out what the soundtrack to Dan Thomas's life sounds like.
The Breakdown. Bristol Rugby's official podcast. Powered by Sam FM.
So here we are. Dan, you're going to choose the 5 songs that are most important to you, that sum up your life, that you love. Is that right?
Yeah, as close to that as possible if I can. But yeah, some interesting ones in there, but hopefully you'll approve of them.
Okay, all right. Let's go for track number 1. What have we chosen?
Share Believe.
Do you believe in life after love?
So that's my initiation song. So I know most of it off by heart, and yeah, I back myself to know that. If a night that a beer goes down me, I'm pretty keen to get that one out there.
So this is the one that you have to sing in front of everybody as the kind of, welcome to the club style.
Yeah, so I wasn't very. I've had a terrible couple of initiations, but I knew I had to bring a big one, so I decided to learn this song. So yeah, so that's the best one I can get.
Right, okay, Dan. So the second track, what have you chosen?
I got Text KD Save It, which is a song when I went to Las Vegas for the first time. There's about 4 of us went, and that was a song we picked for the holiday, and that was a good memory for me.
What goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas? Or
Happens on tour stays on tour, yeah.
Very good. Right, what have you gone for? Track number 3.
All right, track number 3 is Maroon 5, She Will Be Loved. My first CD I bought my CD player, so that I had it on repeat many times because that's the only song I had. So yeah, that was my one big memory I have.
And what was it? What when Maroon 5 was on? What was going on in the rugby world? Where were you at, and what was going on?
I think I was. I'm 24 now, so a few years ago. I think I'll be playing back for Kidwelly, maybe, or even Kinecki. But no, I was. I can't remember that far back what I was doing anyway.
Okay, number 4.
Send Me On My Way by Rusted Roots. So I'm a big fan of Ice Age, so it's a good song, so everyone can sing along to it. So yeah, that's my 4th one.
You're a big kid at heart then?
Yeah, so I got big kids living with, so Joe Batley, so me and him live together, and in fairness, we go through a couple of films, and Ice Age, those one is that's up there. So yeah.
Cool. And your 5th and final choice?
I'm massively into cars, so the Fast and Furious franchise has helped me. So Wiz Khalifa, It's Been a Long Day. It's quite an emotional song, but I don't really tend to listen to the emotional side. It's just makes me remind me of cars, and I'm big fan of cars. So that's my 5th one.
We've come a long way from where we began. We started. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. I'll tell you when I see you again.
Your dream car would be?
Nissan GTR.
Really?
Yeah. So I know it's a bit Japanese, but no. I got Nissan now, and that's the baby brother of the GTR. So no, GTR will be my dream car.
Dream car. Yeah. Good day. Well, there's your 5. Thanks very much for sharing your soundtrack with us.
Thank you very much.
The Breakdown.
And our time here has come to an end. Oh, have you enjoyed it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been great.
Most definitely.
So it starts through gritted teeth. Well, listen, all the best for the rest of the season in both of your departments, which are equally important. And I have to say that as a fan looking in, I reckon that the atmosphere and the momentum at the moment, I think, is probably the best I've ever seen it. Would you agree?
Totally, I would actually. I think. It's not a case of what's gone before hasn't been relevant. Pat's built on the good work that's been done and added some real clarity and direction, and it's a really fun place to be at the minute.
Charles?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that as well. I think every week everybody's looking to get better, and I think the performances have shown. I don't think there's any kind of boys aren't kind of resting on their laurels with that sort of thing. They know if you don't go out and perform on the weekend, there's someone else that's going to come in and take your spot who will do as good a job, if not better.
Jack Tovey, Rory Murray, thanks so much.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
The Breakdown, Bristol Rugby's official podcast, built with Callaway Building Supplies, helping you build since 1982, with 5 branches across Bristol, and powered by Sam FM.